In this webinar, you will discover how Energy Pro can complement your work by optimizing financial and technical evaluations across multiple energy sources. You will learn about Energy Pro's advanced simulation and financial analysis tools that can optimize the performance and profitability of your projects. You will discover how Energy Pro enables seamless integration of wind with solar, battery storage, and other energy sources for maximum efficiency. And last but not least, you will see a smooth transition from Wind Pro to Energy Pro. And now a little bit about Mas, who will now take over the presentation.
Thank you very much, Olga. Yes, as mentioned, my name is Mas. I will take you through this webinar where we'll talk about WindPro and how we can benefit from the results in WindPro and in our other tool, Energy Pro. I started working for EMD more than 20 years ago, working primarily as an energy consultant with all different sorts of topics, including wind farms, PV plants, Power-to-X, hybrid solutions, and so on. So the main topic is going from WindPro to Energy Pro, because there are some features in Energy Pro that users of WindPro can benefit from. WindPro is very much based on a geographical location. Those of you who are using WindPro will know that you create a site, you put in wind data, you put in wind turbines, PV plants. So it's located at a very specific place geographically, a specific country, a region, so on. So it's very much about all the technical details related to placing the units. In Energy Pro, we are modeling the energy systems. So actually we are taking the results from WindPro and we model it with respect, of course, to all the technical limitations and possibilities, but also taking into account the economy. So there will be someone paying for the electricity we produce. And I think that's important. If no one will pay for it, then why produce it? You are most likely WindPro users, so I will give you a short introduction to Energy Pro. It's a software with a long history similar to WindPro, so it's not something new we invented yesterday. It has had a long lifetime. It started out in the district energy sector and it has evolved into many different sectors. And for the WindPro users, I would think that hybrid projects and Power-to-X projects would be of great interest. The Energy Pro tool is built up like WindPro in modules. See if I can find the pointer here. The main tool is design, where you build your model and you run or optimize your production for a year. It's in design, it's always a year we are looking at. If we want to do longer calculations, example for investment analysis where we would like to run more years, you can go to the finance tool where you can calculate for, let's say, 20 or 25 or 30 years. You can include all your payments, you can put in your CAPEX, your OPEX, and Energy Pro will give you all the standard financial numbers you can use in your analysis. Then there are some other tools. I will show them briefly. One tool which I would show you more than briefly is the optimizer. You build your model in design, and then instead of running a lot of different finance calculations, you can with optimize very easily size your different units. It could be your capacity of wind, capacity of PVs. It could also be the storage capacity of your battery system if it's a hybrid plant. It could also be as simple as optimizing the grid connection. Grid connections, they're quite often expensive, so you would like to buy as small as possible, but still with the full capability of your plant. These 5 bullets here are a little bit more a description of what Energy Pro does. It's a flexible tool. You can build a lot of different models. As I will show you later on, there are a lot of different types of units you can use, and you can make the connections and relations between a lot of different types of energy production and consumption. So, and it's easy to input the project data. We will later on see how easy you can take the time series from, for example, WindPro, and just load it into Energy Pro, and you're ready to go. It's user-friendly. There's not much very advanced inputs you need. It's a graphical, and you can see what's going on, and you have nice toolbars and so on. And one of the most important things is this number 4 here. We are combining the technical aspects with the economical aspects. And I think that is one of the main advantages of this tool, that you're not just looking at is the grid connection good enough, for example, if you have a combined hybrid plant. The easy answer is yes, you need enough to export full capacity of both wind and PV. That might not be feasible if you have a very expensive grid connection, and therefore it's very important that you look at both the technical parts and the economical parts. And then it's perhaps not so much for today's topic where we are talking about hybrid, and that's mostly in the electricity or power world, but there are also really strong tools for optimizing across different energy types. I can see there's a hand raised. Let's have all the questions in the chat, and then I can answer questions at the end, if that's okay with you. So this is a little bit about the workflow in Energy Pro. You will start out with a more or less graphical page or canvas where you can build your model. There will be different toolbars I will show you later on. You build your model, and then Energy Pro will dispatch the units, and you will see an example of the operation, actually the plant operation for this plant. So you will get a full insight into what is actually going on here. When will the wind turbines run? When is the PV on? When will we charge the battery, and when will we discharge it? There will be some reports and charts I will show you later on. And of course, as in many other cases, there will be a feedback you realize something and you want to change it, and you go through it. So it's a nice circle. We can go in here and find the best results for our plant. An example of a very simple model here. I don't expect you to know all the icons here in Energy Pro, but I can tell you this is a PV plant which will produce electricity. And here we have a grid connection, we have a battery, and we have an electricity demand. So what is it Energy Pro tries to do? Yeah, it tries to look at this system and optimize the operation. So we are not seeing it as a simulation, because we are not telling the tool or software what the system should do. We are giving the limitation and possibilities for all the different units. And then based on that, Energy Pro will try to optimize the operation. So in this very simple example, we will let the tool we will ask the tool or tell the tool that for the electricity demand, we can purchase power from the grid at some price. We can also sell power at a different price, and we can charge or discharge the battery. And the demand we have can either be covered by the PV battery or purchase of power from the grid. And then, of course, depending on what limitations we have put in, we will get different results. So what we do here is, for this very simple system, we will try to optimize the covering the electricity demand at the lowest expense. And of course, you can have some limitations saying that, okay, I can only use green electricity, or I cannot import at different specific time of the day and so on. All those extra limitations, you have the full flexibility to add. And then the tool will optimize for lowest expense or highest income. See? This is a very, very simple model. We can also do much more complex model. This is a model of a methanol plant where you also do a lot of other stuff. You are producing heat, you are producing methanol, you have some CO2, you can either use or you can store it. And then we are actually also producing biomethane, which can be injected into the natural grid or natural gas grid. And it's all driven by the wind turbines and PVs up here. Then we have a models, and for each of these circles here, we have specified what are the capacities and capabilities of this specific unit. And finally, we have to put in a willingness to pay. What are people willing to pay for the methanol? And only if that is enough, it will run. If it's not feasible to run, then it won't run. And that is, of course, a little bit problematic if no one is willing to pay for it. But then you can, of course, put in a higher price or put it in as a demand, and then it will run anyways. But it's important to remember that it's the economy that drives these models. That was a short introduction to Energy Pro. We are, of course, ready to answer more detailed questions. We will do that in the Q&A at the end. And now I will jump to the WindPro Energy Pro interface. If we take the WindPro workflow, which I would assume is known to a lot of you, WindPro is built on. We have some data. It could be meteorological data. It will most probably be some kind of time series. It can be on-site data. It can be reanalysis data. A lot of data that goes into a model. And that would, of course, be flow modeling if we are talking about wind turbines. A little bit different model if we're talking PVs. And for especially the wind turbines, we would quite often have to do some curtailment calculations. It could be wind sector management. It could be curtailment for birds, bats, noise, you name it. There were potentially a lot of different curtailments. And of course, wake models. That will be the standard approach in WindPro for estimating the power output from a wind farm or PV plant. And then at the end, we can export the time series if you run a time-varying calculations. And I would say that time-varying calculations, that is what you should do. It's much more important when you have your production than exactly how much it is. And you can export the time series directly from PAC and from solar PV. Let me show you. Here I have an example of a generic wind farm and PV plant. I have run a PAC calculation for the wind farm, and I have run a solar PV calculation. And in those calculations, if you right-click, you will get the opportunity to select result to file. And in that result to file, you can either save as a text or CSV file, or you can copy to clipboard and then take the data through an Excel sheet and then further on into Energy Pro. So those are the options for exporting data. And of course, we should dive into what kind of data it is. But of course, from the PAC calculation, it will be the PAC result you can take. So basically what we need in Energy Pro is a time series. So that means date and time and power output with all the curtailments and wake losses that goes into Energy Pro. And then we have for the PV, I would normally suggest exporting the data for the first year. So you can take care of the degradation in Energy Pro, for example. So that was a short story about how to get data out of WindPro. And of course, there should be a purpose of this. We don't just want to export data. We will use it. And I have prepared 5 use cases or examples that will show different parts of the Energy Pro tool. It's most of them are rather simple projects, but I think they will show quite easily or how you easily can model hybrid plants. The first one we are looking at is a simple wind farm and a grid connection. So that's a rather simple setup. So here we can evaluate the production from the wind farm, and we can put in electricity prices and see how much electricity we can sell and at what price. How well does the power price variations fit the wind farm production? The next one is a little bit more complex one, where we want to have both a wind farm and a PV plant and a grid connection or electricity market. And here we can, of course, start talking about how big should the capacity for the grid connection be. The easy answer is full capacity of wind and full capacity of PV. That's what we need, but that will give you way too much grid capacity. So we can optimize and see, depending, of course, on what is the cost of this grid connection, how much grid do we actually need. Then we have the next step where we include a battery or energy storage. And of course, we can optimize the size of the battery. And as an extra add-on to this one, I have included an example where we have a round-the-clock electricity demand, or a baseload PPA. You can call it what you want, but it's basically about being able to provide a certain amount of power 24/7 from the battery and the wind farm and PV plants together. And it's very rare that you actually can do it 24/7. But then, of course, you can add some extra costs for the penalty you get if you cannot produce in some hours. And finally, a use case I will show you is a rather complex one. So we won't dive into the details there, but it's just to show you an example of hydrogen production in Energy Pro. So let me see if I can stop share this one, because now we will take the chance and jump into a live demonstration of Energy Pro. So I will stop presenting this one. This is an empty Energy Pro model. It can look a bit overwhelming with a complete empty canvas. Let's go through the different steps here and see what we have. We have, as in many other softwares, a toolbar up here, something about setting up the projects, something about setting up the individual calculations, and then the reports where we can see the results. Remember, we talked about the different types of modules. We have this design, which is for 1 year calculations. We have finance, that is for the full investment analysis, where you run perhaps 20 or 25 years. And then we have accounts. It's a little bit the same, but with much more documentation on the financial part. And then we have another module called operation, where you can specify a very specific period. It could be estimating the losses in a certain case, where you say, okay, my unit was not operating from the 5th of February to the 15th of February. How much did we lose? Then we can do some calculations in here. But for this introduction, we will go with design. And here in the left part, you can see all the different topics we need to cover when running a model. There will be some external conditions, and that will be time series. And this is exactly where we load the data from WindPro. The park result, the time-varying park result, and the time-varying solar PV results, they can be loaded in here and be the basis for the models. And then you can see all the different topics here. Most of it is technical aspects, but here at the end, we also have one called economy, and that's where you specify how much you can get for the power, how much you have to pay for the service of the wind turbines, and so on. So let me jump to my first really simple model here. I have a wind farm, and you can see I have loaded the day-ahead prices for an area, and then I have my wind turbine or wind power. I can open this one, and here you can see this is exactly my time series from WindPro, where I have date and time, and then the power output. Now this is a really small project here. So you can see the maximum power output is 2.2 megawatt. So it's more an example than a real wind farm. And you can see the varying output from a wind farm over time. And that will be used in the calculations. Then I also have a market or a grid connection. I have specified a very, very simple economy here. I can sell some electricity that will be connected to the day-ahead prices, of course. And then just to show that you can put in expenditures, there's a cost for operating the wind farm. Once everything is settled, I can click on this one, and I will see a graph of the turbine production. Below here, we have the electricity production, and up here we have the electricity prices. We also have the opportunity to let me show this one, the wind power. You can see there's a curve here with the wind power, and it will be there in this part here, but there's no colored area below. That means our wind farm is not operating, but according to the output from WindPro, it would actually be capable of producing 2 megawatt in those hours here. But because of very, very low electricity prices, it's a better business for us to stop the wind turbines. And therefore, you can see we lose some production here. And the same goes for this part here, where you can see, okay, the power prices are really low, and therefore we stop the wind turbines. One way to mitigate this problem could, of course, be some kind of battery solutions. And we will dig into that in the next example. Not the next, but now you will have the chance to see how we open the project again. And let's jump straight to this one, where we have both a wind farm and a PV plant, and we have a market. And I have put in some payments for selling the electricity, and there's a full possibility to export the electricity. And you can see how it operates here. We have the wind farm, which is the blue. We have the PV plant, which is the yellow-orange one. And if you follow this line, it's the combined output of those two assets. Now you can see here, if we have a limit in grid capacity of a certain amount here, we can see what will happen. It's in here. Now you can see it's 5 megawatt. I can easily export that. But I can also go in here and try the optimize function I talked about, which is based on annuity calculation. So basically, you don't need to calculate all 20 or 25 years to find the business case. We're looking at annuities, and of course, looking at annuities also make that small trick that each year will be similar to the one before. So you can say it's a really good tool for finding the approximate size of a unit, and based on that you can of course do more detailed evaluations of the details and run for a full period. It's very simple. You select the period, you select what interest rate you want to use for this calculation. You select what unit to optimize, and in this case, I'm actually optimizing this day-ahead market, and that is our grid connection. So I put in say, okay, it should not be bigger than 5 megawatt. I have a cost of 130,000 euros per megawatt, and there's in this case expected lifetime of 25 years. And of course, depending on what numbers you put in here, you will get different results. That's how it is. So now I can calculate the optimization of this unit, and you can see it returns to me 3.487 megawatt. That will be my grid connection. So then I can go back here and say put that in. Then I can run my calculation again. And you can see 3.8 here. Hopefully we don't have anything going above that. And that's fine. And we can, of course, use that for calculating how much production did we lose. That will be a slightly different calculation. I will show you that in one of the next examples. If we have a period with way too much production compared to our grid limit, then I can use a battery to mitigate that problem. So in this case, I have introduced a battery, and I can here again in the production see how it operates. Calculating a battery is a little bit more time consuming than calculating without a battery, because the model has to decide what should I do in each hour. Should I charge, or whatever should I do? It takes some time here. Yes, and now we get the result. And you can see here we have now gotten more graphs telling us about the system. You can see here on the electricity graph again, we have blue colors, we have orange colors. That's still the wind farm and the PV plant. But now we also have the discharging of our battery, and you can follow the battery down here. That here we are discharging, here we are charging, and you can follow the content of the battery. And again here you can do exactly the same exercise. You can press the optimize button and give an upper value of the storage capacity. You can put in an investment of the battery, a lifetime. I've been a bit on the safe side here, 10 years. They should be able to do that. But of course, it depends on what you put in. You will get different results. That optimization will take a bit longer than the other grid optimization. And when it's done, we will get a result which will give us the suggested size of the battery. Calculating. Now we get the result here, that in this case, for this small plant, around a 1 megawatt hour battery would be excellent. And then you can, of course, start fine-tuning the ratio between storage capacity and charge and discharge capacities. So those were the three very simple examples where you can see the optimize tool. One last thing I will show you is the cash flow. And that is one of the reports we have in Energy Pro. Now it will calculate again. And it will show you, okay, for this period we are looking at, and it can be 1 year, it can be 25 years, you will earn this on your selling electricity. If you have a demand, you can see how much of that you can cover. You will also be, let me zoom in a bit here. You can see some of your operating costs. We will also, in this case, import some electricity at a certain cost, and there will be some tariffs related to that. So there's a lot of reports in Energy Pro that can be used. Let me try to open one of the next models here, which is a model. It's example 4, as I mentioned, where we will look at a hybrid plant with around the clock or baseload PPA. So we have to deliver a certain amount of electricity in each and every hour. So you can see here it's a similar model, but I have included this unit here. And ideally, that one should never run, because that is a way of keeping track of the missing production from my PVs and wind turbines. I can again look at this production graphics. And now you can see we have gotten a third color here. We have a specific demand. You can see it here. This is my electricity demand. It's a constant one. I have to supply that 24/7. That demand is 50 megawatt. You can see we have here increased our size of plant quite a bit. We have a demand, and we can cover it with this baseload not met unit. It's not a physical unit, but it's a unit to account for the missing production. And again, if we go into this cash flow report, we can see we export some electricity. We have a PPA paying for this electricity demand. And then we don't import electricity, but we pay quite a bit of penalty for not providing the electricity for that PPA. And that gives us the operational income. You say, what can we do? Yeah, we can add a battery to this system. So we could, for example, here, if we look at the graphics, the production we have in this period here, which is way above our demand of 50 megawatt, could we shave that off and move it into here, and then remove some of the red areas? And to do that, I have tried with a battery solution, and we can calculate it. And again, it will take some time to calculate. And now you can see we have gotten a little bit of battery graphs, but you can also see we have covered with the battery solution. We have actually covered some of the demand in this period here with discharge from the battery. Ideally, we should look for covering everything, or should we? That will be a financial evaluation. What is the penalty of not meeting the expectations for how long periods and so on? And therefore, we have to specify a lot of different stuff here in the economy. Once that is settled, you can use the model for many different projects in the same area. And of course, you can also use the optimize function. In this case, it will take some time to calculate. We won't wait 2 or 3 minutes on that. I think we have waited long enough. So I will just show you the last a little bit more complex model related to a hydrogen production plant. See if it shows up here. Yes. And again, we calculated, and now Energy Pro is going through the calculations and finding out what unit to run at what time. You can see here we have wind farm and PV. We have an electrolyzer using some electricity and some water. It's producing hydrogen and oxygen and also some heat. And basically, we have the possibility of exporting the hydrogen, selling the hydrogen. And we have technical specification on each and every unit in here. We get the production out. It can be a bit overwhelming here. And therefore, I would like, as a final remark here on the Energy Pro live demonstration, is again the cash flow report. You can see how much hydrogen did we sell, at what price. Did we sell some electricity? Yes. We had to buy a lot of water, or at least pay for the water treatment. We also imported some electricity, and for some periods we actually had to import hydrogen for supplying all the demands needed. And one last thing here is this chart, where you can specify, for example, electricity here and see where is my electricity consumption in this setup. I'm, of course, using a lot of the electricity for the electrolyzer. I'm also exporting quite a bit. I have an electricity demand that could be some other electricity consumption. And you can also do it for the hydrogen. Say, okay, I have this binding hydrogen demand. That is something I have to deliver 24/7. And then I have a little bit extra I can export. That was a very short tour in Energy Pro. There's, of course, many more details, and that's something we can do another time. first occasion will be the Q&A session. Now I will present the PowerPoint again, and since I restarted my computer, I will probably have to move all the way to that slide. Oops, this one. Key takeaways. What did we learn? Yeah, first of all, we have talked about the workflow going from WindPro to Energy Pro. We have learned that Energy Pro is capable of modeling a very large range of different use cases, both the more simple hybrid solutions, but certainly also the more complex one with sector coupling and across different types of energy. We are looking at both economy and technology in the optimizations. And if you have a specific use case, you can set Energy Pro models up to reflect that and evaluate your system. And then the final bullet, it's not just power plants. It's, as you saw, it was also about producing hydrogen or methanol or heat, so we can work across sectors. That was my part of the first here. And again, sorry for the problems with the IT problems. I think Olga will take over and do a little bit, and
Yes.
then I will see if I can find the questions.
Yes, so we've got only 3 minutes left, so I'm not sure how many questions we will actually get to answer, but don't worry, because we will record a special video where we will answer, Mads will answer all the questions, and we will share that video with you in the next newsletter. Meanwhile, we would love you to answer this survey that you can find a QR code to on the screen. I'm also sending a link right now in the chat if you prefer to answer it on your computer. It's a question about what topic you would be interested in hearing about more in the next webinar. You are also most welcome to suggest your own topic, and we will consider that. Then we have 2 links here. One is for a link to a download of a free trial of Energy Pro, which I'm also sending in the chat right now. And the other one is a link to Energy Pro courses. Yes, and now we have 2 minutes for the questions. So Mads, maybe at least one question you could answer.
I can. There's a lot of questions, and we will go through them. And as Olga mentioned, take a look at them and give you full answers. There's a couple of questions about the difference between Energy Pro and WindPro, and I would say doing the yield calculations and detailed sector management and curtailment losses. That is a task for WindPro. Once you have settled on the time series, you can use it in Energy Pro. There's also a question about those time series, especially on the electricity prices. Do we do any kind of forecasts? Energy Pro is not a forecasting tool, but if you have your own time series, you can load them in and use it. And especially if you have a development over years, you can let Energy Pro help you calculate the change in the future. One thing I haven't mentioned here is the feature called time series functions, where you can load a time series, and then you can, that's for the advanced user, you can specify formulas or equations that modifies that time series. So you have an opportunity to do it there. And then there's also a question about grid limitations. Yes, for sure, grid limits. That is that is for sure something which is a part of Energy Pro. Perhaps I told you that when I was almost alone here with my frozen computer, that grid limitations is of course very important, and for hybrid projects, grid limitations, that's quite often the crucial part. So yes, that is something you can evaluate and optimize. I think that was all the time we have had so far. Perhaps a concluding remark from you, Olga.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for your patience and for attending, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next webinar. Thank you, Mads, as well, for hosting it and presenting Energy Pro to us.